I refused to feed my mother-in-law after she told my kids my food would make them fat. My mother-in-law Linda has been staying with us for 3 weeks. My husband Dan invited her after minor knee surgery left her unable to drive for a while. We have a guest room, she needed help, and I said yes because he asked and because I genuinely thought I could manage it. Here's the thing about Linda. She has opinions about everything. The way I load the dishwasher, the kids' bedtimes, whether we use too much hot water. But her biggest opinions always are about food. Specifically mine. I cook from scratch almost every night. Nothing fancy, roasted chicken, pasta, rice dishes, soups, real food. My kids are 8 and 11, they're healthy and active, and their pediatrician has never once flagged anything about their weight or eating. Linda started with little comments the first few days. Said we used too much olive oil. Said the portions were generous. Called us hearty eaters like that was a clinical finding. I let it go each time. She's recovering, she's older, I told myself it was just how she talked. The second week she started doing it at the dinner table. Said the pasta was heavy. Asked if I really needed to add cheese to everything. Told my son that growing boys need protein, not carbs. Right in the middle of him eating spaghetti. I said, he likes it, and she smiled and said, I'm just saying. Then one evening I'm putting away groceries in the pantry and I hear her in the kitchen with my kids. My son was having leftover pasta. My daughter had apple slices with peanut butter. Normal afternoon stuff. And I hear Linda say, clear as anything, you know, eating like this every day is why kids end up with weight problems. I'm just telling you so you know. I stopped moving. My son said, but mom made this. She said, I know honey, I'm just warning you for when you're older. I walked out of the pantry. I sent both kids to the living room with their snacks and I turned around and looked at her. She looked back at me like she'd said nothing worth discussing. I said, don't talk to my kids about their weight. She said, I was being honest. I wish someone had said those things to me when I was young. I said, my daughter is 8. She doesn't need a warning label on her apple slices. Don't do it again. She did this little head tilt and said I was oversensitive, that she was only looking out for them. That night I cooked chicken, roasted potatoes, a salad. I made enough for Dan and the kids. When Linda sat down, there was nothing in front of her. She looked at the empty place setting and said, where's my plate? I said, I didn't make you one. She looked at Dan. He looked at me. The kids were very focused on their chicken. She said, excuse me? I said, you told my kids this afternoon that the way they eat is why kids gain weight, so I'm not cooking for you. She said I was being childish, that she was a guest recovering from surgery and this was cruel. I said, there's food in the fridge. You're welcome to make whatever you like. She got up and made herself a bowl of cereal and ate it standing at the counter. Dan didn't say anything at the table. He asked the kids about school and kept his eyes down, just pretending nothing was happening. After the kids went to do homework, I was clearing the plates and Linda said from across the kitchen, you know this is going to cause problems. I said, it already did. You caused them this afternoon. She set her bowl in the sink and went to her room. After the kids were in bed, Dan came to find me. Said his mom didn't mean any harm. Said she grew up in a household where people talked about food and weight like it was just normal dinner conversation, that she didn't realize how it landed. I said she told our 8-year-old she was going to have a weight problem to her face while she was eating fruit. He said she leaves in 4 days. Can we just get through it? I said I'd been getting through it for 2 weeks already. He said, so what? You're just not gonna feed her. I said, she has 2 working hands and a full kitchen. I'm not cooking for someone who stands in my house and tells my kids that my food is going to ruin their bodies. He went quiet and I let him be quiet. Next morning, Linda came downstairs and made herself toast without looking at me. My daughter came in and sat at the table and said, Mom, can I have eggs? I said, of course. Scrambled or fried? She said, scrambled, please. I made her a full plate, eggs and toast and some orange slices on the side, and set it in front of her. She said thank you and dug in. Linda stood at the counter with her plain toast and watched us and didn't say a single word about it. She leaves tomorrow. She's made her own meals every night since. Last night my daughter had 2 helpings of the pasta, and Linda stood at that counter with her cereal and didn't say a thing.